So while Wiley was still live on the same interview, we just turned up outside the, you know, he saw us through them little square windows, you know them ones.
Yeah.
And when he come out, we was like, say it to my face.
They don't know about my crew, they don't know what I do, they don't know about my flow, they don't know where I go, they don't know about my clique, and they don't know about...
I'm gonna be very honoured. Do you know what I mean? I followed this man's career for a very, very long time. Do you know what I'm saying? I've seen man on the screens. I want to do one of those big, hefty intros, but I'm not really good with words a lot. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, Ashley Waters, man, big up, man. Big up for coming down, man. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you ready to take a trip? This is going to be a journey.
Yeah, man, I'm ready, bro.
Yeah, do you normally sit down and watch? Are you someone that sits down and watches your stuff, or is it?
No, not really. Maybe more recently, where I've kind of been producing a bit more of the stuff that I'm in.
Yeah.
So I have to kind of watch it, but usually, like, just let it go, do it and let it go, do you know what I mean?
Nah, I feel you. Well, you know what? Let's start this journey way back, as far back as Grange Hill.
Wow. What, I just heard my name being taken in vain, that's all.
Mum was just worried about leaving us. I told her we'll be fine, won't we, Andy?
Worried? Should be feeling guilty more like.
I slept on this one. I forgot about this one. I was more...
Forgot about it? You probably weren't born in this one, right?
I know, because you've been acting... When I was born, that's when you started acting. That's what made it mad, because I didn't know you was acting for that long. Do you know what I mean? Something like Grange Hill, how did this come about?
At the time, this was big. Grange Hill was big for my age group and whatever. Everyone wanted to be in the show who was trying to act. But I was at stage school them times. Okay. And the audition just came up, so I went up for it.
How old was you here, do you reckon?
I don't know, probably like 15. Might be even younger than that, you know, if I'm honest with you.
What, man? What? What are you doing in here with Ebony?
Feeding her, why?
In there?
Oh, so you're gonna play Big Daddy now, are you? So come take her where you want her to eat.
Nah, man. Brother's trying to go on like he can't hear me. What's going on?
I tried to make my kids watch this now. They would laugh at me. The minute they see a bit of static and them thing, they're like, interested.
Yeah, I think I fall into that category because you're in shows like this where someone like me probably wouldn't have watched because I was too young. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And still, like I said, in the situation now, right, blood.
Leveled up a bit on the age and that. No?
Yeah. You can kind of see like man's got a bit. Yeah, the earrings are gone. Bro, how did this role come about?
Storm damage, same process, bro. Same process. If I'm honest with you, even to this day, I still audition a lot. A lot of people think like, you know, once you got a name or whatever, that you're just kind of getting, people are calling you going, do this, do that. Nah, like a lot of the time you got to work for it. And this was a workshop audition. Okay. So there was loads of people going for this part as well. And they whittled it, it was like over 3 days. Yeah. They hired a hall, we were all in there and they were just mixing and matching us with different people to see who we work best with. And I ended up getting down to the last one.
How's that feeling when you've gone for an audition, you've gone against a lot of people and you get the role? You coming from where you come from and doing stuff, this is what inspires me, because you was doing stuff, and we'll get into that later, but there's range in the stuff you was doing. It wasn't just a lot of urban stuff, it was a lot of stuff like this that, you know, you'd watch on the mainstream type of level. So when you're going up against all these people and getting the role, what's that feeling?
I can't lie, you feel good. It's a win, isn't it? It's a win. At this point, when I was doing this stuff, I didn't care about the game.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? And maybe that has an effect on kind of you getting parts, because there's less anxiety around what you're doing. Like, I didn't want this to be my career at this point. Do you know what I'm saying? But I fell into it. So it was like, I was probably going to places a little bit more laid back about it, caring less about what the outcome would be. But then I guess people see that, that laid back attitude, and it's right for this part, I guess, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So
I want to kind of take a little jump start, because this is the moment where I kind of discovered Ashley. It wasn't Ashley, it was Asher D with So Solid, 21 Seconds. Obviously there's a lot more stuff you've done in between Storm Damage to 21 Seconds, but how did you then transition from that to then saying, okay, we're here? Because that was a major move for you. Like, you came second on the track.
It was always going to be that for me. So this is, like I was saying to you in the beginning, this is what I wanted to do, innit? Yeah. Music was what I wanted to do. You know, when Yo MTV Raps hit over here, and we started to see like more of the American rappers and this and that or whatever, I finally could see someone on the screen that I could, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
that I could relate to. I tapped into pirate radio quite early, and that's where I met Soul Solid. Initially, I was a fan.
Yeah.
You know, I was listening to Soul Solid before I became a part of it.
Okay.
So
they were around.
Yeah, they were around for time, bro. So it was just Mega then, Mega, Mac, PDS, and Romeo were like the original Soul Solid members, and Harvey would come in and out or whatever. He was like one of the man, and they knew him and that, but he weren't like a regular. But it was them four, and then Oxide and Neutrino were a separate entity or whatever. So I just started listening to Supreme FM.
Yeah.
And they were all on that. Bruv, I was a proper fan. I shouldn't even play it down. I was one of them man that was calling up.
Okay.
So I was calling up, live calling.
Yeah.
You know, when there was like, anyone could spit. Call up, I was spitting bars down the phone. Like it was that mad, you get me? And then something in me just said, I'm gonna be in that crew.
Yeah.
You know, that universal law of attraction, that manifestation, bruv. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be in that crew. I stayed humble. I kept writing. I was just writing. And then from nowhere, I linked Big Kid.
Okay.
He was Living Legend DJ, I think. It was him, Oxide, Neutrino, Billy the Kid. He lived round the corner from me, which I never knew. So I was listening to him on radio, and then I must have bucked him through another friend. I started making tapes with him, and then one day I said to him, give one of my tapes to the Supreme FM manager.
Yeah.
Gave it to the manager shouted me, and then I got my own set, and literally that's how kind of Asher D was born, because originally I was just Asher.
Okay.
My cousin kind of gave me that name.
They don't know about my crew. They don't know what I do. They don't know about my flow. They don't know where I go.
One thing I remember with Soul Solid crew, it was always the people that kind of stood out was always yourself, Mega, Romeo, and Lisa Mafia. It's such a crazy kind of thing to go from a fan to.
Yeah, man. It was the hustlers, bruv, and it's the ones that had belief. Like obviously we know Mega always had the vision before we did of like creating a group and creating an empire and all of that stuff. But when it come to music, like I stayed writing. Me and Swiss lived in the studio. Do you know what I'm saying?
Big up Swiss,
we lived in the studio, bruv, and they don't know that was an Asher D track.
Okay.
So I went studio and made the track myself.
Okay.
And like that was just for me. And no one was on it. And then I gave it to Megs.
Yeah.
And like a week later he turned up at my house and he was like, hey, just listen to this. And he was on it. You know what I mean? And that was it, bro. That was it. It was like, okay, cool.
People won't really know about this, yeah, but Asher D and Dizzy Rascal.
Keep up for this nigga I've been in. Keep winning, keep on the throne spinning. Keep winning, keep on the throne winning. Why don't you step on the throne with me? Ain't come so get this for me. With a person on my gas, step for me. Keep beating the bar for the bedroom. When my thoughts will start their
Many know you as a musician, but you know the new school know you as an actor. But for you to have been the hot guy and Dizzy was the hot guy and that will go in head to head. I remember Choice FM, and I don't know if the man then pulled up or something, and it was like clashing, and obviously the Eskimo dance clash. You know, South and East kind of, you know, getting together, having Wiley over there and, you know, Mega Man and yourself and, you know what I mean? Yeah. How did that happen? Like,
I was in my house, me, my little brother, Swiss, it was always with me. And we were listening to radio. We were listening, it was at Commander B on Choice. These times Choice was in South, it was like 15 minutes from my yard. So we were in there listening and Wiley was on there. And they were talking about, because me and Dizzy had a little thing. So basically, a couple months, I'd just come out of prison.
okay, yeah.
When I come out of prison, got to my house, label wanted me to do interviews. Some girl came over, she was doing an interview with me in my yard. And she was like, what do you think about this new kid, Dizzy Rascal? Yeah. My attitude then was stink. I was like a young artist, just like the young artists now. So I was like, F everyone else, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's my time. You know them ones, like, I was all the smoke, you know what I'm saying? I said in the interview. But what was cunning about Dizzy is he called me.
Oh, really?
So when the interview come out, he got my number and shouted me. And he said something I'll never forget. He was like, thanks for saying my name in the interview. You just made me big. And he said, listen, I'm gonna be in your life for the rest of your life now. And I put down the phone, and that was the start of cause I was livid. I was like, first of all, who gave my number? You know them ones like switch in, because it was someone in the crew that he came through to get me still. He started making tracks, you know what I mean, dissing and that. So anyway, cut to, we're sitting listening to Wiley on Commander B, and Commander's asking Wiley, like, what's going on with Dizzy and Asha? Wiley was just like, you know how Wiley is. He was like, well, I'll tell you straight up, you know what I mean? Asha's shit. Dizzy's much better than Asha. You know what I mean? Dizzy's got much better vocabulary, this, that, whatever. And we're sitting there listening on the radio. So I said to Swiss, are we gonna pull up? So we just went straight to the radio.
I remember listening to
that. Someone was outside and went back in. They were smoking, and another DJ, and we slipped in the door behind them. So while Wiley was still live on the same interview, we just turned up outside the, you know, he saw us through them little square windows, you know them ones. And when he come out, we was like, say it to my face. And he said it. Wiley's like that, innit? So he was like, I said, like, Dizzy's better than you. You ain't better than Dizzy, rare. So then Commander said, why don't you all just come back, have a clash, or whatever. And then the clash was born.
I ain't leaving the manor. I don't know nowhere else. I ain't got nowhere else.
This is just a place, rude boy. Oh, fuck it, I'm gone, man. I can't keep explaining this shit to you, man.
Hey, listen, take this. You might need it. I'll get my own or something.
How did like this situation come about? Like, because I feel like this is when you decided to just, I might be wrong, I might just going from
Bro,
outside.
this is the film where I realized I was an actor.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Forget what anyone else was thinking. This for me, like going through this process, and the director kind of came for me for this one. So this is one of the very few roles in my life that I was honoured enough to be given. Do you know what I'm saying? And the guy had kind of written it with me in mind.
Okay, I wouldn't have known. I would have thought that's the pattern. Wow.
I'd just come out of prison not too long ago. I didn't have an agent or nothing like that at this point. And he hit up my music manager, and I had a meeting with him, and he was just like, I'd just love you to do this film, you know what I mean? You're the only one that can do this film. It's kind of about you. If you notice in the first scene in this movie, or one of the first scenes, I'm coming out of prison, I'm being released from prison. That was actually the same prison I was in 2 months before.
Oh, wow.
And the prison staff that are releasing me are the same prison, they're the real prison staff, the same prison staff that released me.
That must have been like a slap in the face of like, yeah, I'm the man now.
Yeah, because you know what? Whilst I was there, they were all telling me, you're gonna be back. Like once you come once, that's it. Like most people come back or whatever. And I was always like, nah, this ain't for me. You don't know what I've been going through while I've been in there. So it was nice to go back. I did go back, but like as a free man, you know what I mean?
There you go.
And
you got paid to go back.
Yeah. So it was good. It was relevant. But yeah, this film changed my life. Like proper. Like even what happened after it. Getting the award for it just cemented that opinion in my mind that, you know, this is something that I can do long term. You know what I mean? I'm going to take serious. We shot this in Hackney, all over East. It was a nightmare, bro. Really? It was that's the one thing I remember about this movie. Like, we had an incident on set, like in the first week, where Bear Brothers come on set and tried to shut down the thing.
Yeah, all based off the decision.
Oh yeah, because we were kind of filming in East, and obviously it was South and East divide then was a madness, bro. It weren't like today, it's a mix up, but back then it was like, you know what I mean? Where you from?
Yeah.
You know them ones, like it was a madness. So people just didn't like me being there. So we had people rolling up on set, busting shots in the air. You know, one of them ones. So the BBC shut down the film. After the first week, Scotland Yard came to my house. So one day I got back after filming, my girl was like, you got visitors. I come into the front room, there's 2 brothers in suits. They're like, yeah, we're from Scotland Yard. We have reason to believe that someone's gonna attempt to take your life. Whilst you're filming, we have intelligence. We advise you not to shoot the film anymore. So the BBC, you know, obviously was like, do you want to do it? I was like, yeah, of course, I'm still doing it. But then they got covert operation people, close protection security that they used to take care of, like, you know, the journalists and that when they're in Iraq or in war zones and that. They gave me 2 of those. So most scenes I'm wearing bulletproof vests under my clothes. They had another guy that looked like me, wearing the same clothes as me, so they could like do like, you know, double stuff, and certain places I couldn't film. So it was a madness, bro. So every day I'm waking up in the morning feeling like, wow, this could be it. Yeah. This could be it.
I can't tell what gender is this. Your right is right on the table. But when I saw a mixed race girl, I thought I was battling Fable. Yeah.
For me, I like Life and Lyrics. I remember watching it back in the day. I ain't watched it as recent, but I did like it.
My favourite film.
It's not your favourite? No. I think it weren't executed right because it was so early. I don't think they knew what they were getting into at the time. But if it came out now and they just treated it, imagine this was a bunch of draw youths. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but at the time, it felt a bit American-y. Like, this don't happen in London. What man are getting beat up for raps and that. But or man's chatting to man's gal of the whatever. But if this was now, that's why I say it slept on. When you done it, did you like the film or did you?
Yeah, I did, man. It was one of them ones that, listen, throughout your career, there's loads of things that you read, scripts, and you're like, this is dope. And then the film shit. Or the show's dead, you get what I'm saying? So it can happen. But yeah, on paper, and whilst I was shooting it, I had high hopes for the film. But when I saw it, it's exactly what you kind of said at the time. It was kind of like, didn't really connect, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was trying to make films that connected with my people, do you know what I'm saying, in the right way, but it kind of, I think it tried to be a bit more than it should have been. And the director, no disrespect to him, Richard Laxton, because he's a good guy, but just didn't understand this world.
I think
you know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
So it just kind of, it felt a bit Hollyoaks to me afterwards, like, and that's no disrespect to Hollyoaks, I keep on, shouldn't be mentioning names, but it just felt a bit like
I get what you,
too commercial.
What are you doing in my fucking block? What the fucking hell are you doing in my fucking block? What are you doing in my fucking block? Eh? What the fuck are you doing in my block? What the fuck are you doing in my fucking block? I asked you. Look. Hey.
The tough guy shit out the window now, right? Get the fuck out of here.
I kill you.
I'm watching this film. I'm watching the film, 50 Cent's film. For those who don't know, Get Rich or Die Tryin'. I'm sitting down, a 50 Cent biopic. I'm chilling. Remember, no press, nothing. All of a sudden, I hear a Yardie accent. Oh, who could that be? Turn around. Ashley Waters is in the film.
I got killed for that Yardie accent, boy.
Really? Yeah. It's because you didn't hear it too much. Whether you got killed or not, whether it was bad or not, man was in Get Rich or Die Tryin', bro. Like, I'm sitting next to someone who starred alongside 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying?
Brother, it was dope, man. Like, see when I come out of jail, my brother picked me up with my mum.
Yeah.
And the first thing he put in the car CD player was Get Rich or Die Tryin'.
Okay.
That album. And we listened to the album all the way back home.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed after that. I was like, nah, this guy's a
so
madness. I kind of heard about him while I was inside still, but just getting the body of work, listening to the whole thing, you know, the penny dropping in the beginning of the album and all of that. Like, it was a moment, bruv. We sat in silence, like, all the way home, listening to that. And I was like, rah, this is it. To then be sitting next to him, like, not too long after, was a madness, bruv. It just proved to me, like, actually, you can do anything you want to do in this world, you know.
Facts.
Like, if you believe, it's a madness. And that's what this film meant to me. More like waking up and going to work, like, with these man, Terrence Howard, do you know what I mean? Omar, flipping Tory there. And then Eminem would quickly cut through on set. Okay. You know them ones when they're making a song or whatever, and Jimmy Iovine and them. I was like, wow, this is mad. And then going to dinner in the evenings with Lloyd Banks and Yayo and, you know what I mean? It was a madness, bro. It was a proper moment for me. Like, I thought, like, right, I've made it. You know, one of them ones. That was probably the time.
Well, that's what I remember I was with my brother, I said, actually, he's gone. I said, he's gone, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, how did, like, obviously you said auditions and that, was this a similar vibe?
I did audition for this, but it was, you know what was lucky about it was Jim Sheridan directed it.
Okay.
Jim Sheridan's Irish in this, so he was in the UK and he'd seen Bullet Boy.
Okay, yes.
So he was just like, I want you in this film. So I went and auditioned, but when I auditioned, he just said to me, spit 16 bars.
Yeah.
So that's why there was literally a camera like that there, and I just spat 16 bars to the camera. They didn't even read. And my man kind of come up to me and was like, yeah, your face is good. You know, he's pushing up my cheekbones and that, rare, whatever. And I was thinking, what type of slave stuff is this? You know what I mean? You know it was. This man's going to sell me in a minute. But, you know, them ones, like, you're like, right, this is probably how it goes, isn't it? Or whatever, I don't
Hollywood
know.
Now,
it's Hollywood, like, whatever. Like 8 months or something like that, I didn't hear anything. And then one night my agent called me and was like, you need to pack your bags. You're going to Canada next week. Doing the 50 Cent movie, and that was it, bruv.
Seeing, you know,
actors, musicians, but not on the level of what the Americans were doing.
Yeah.
Now, today, it's commonplace for people to bust down their watch and, do you know what I mean, chains and this and that or whatever. But back then, we weren't moving like that over here. It weren't like that.
It weren't,
So Solid a bit, you know, a few different men or whatever, but it weren't like common. So kind of meeting 50, I started to realise how rich the guy, you know when you start to realise like, this guy's got money.
Like, I ain't really getting
this
money
is
like I thought I would.
different money, bro. So one day, it was my birthday while I was filming. And I think I just got my first couple of checks from doing the film. So I said, I'm going to buy myself a Jacob.
Yeah.
Woke up in the morning, I had the day off, it was in New York, Times Square. I went down to the jewelers, I was like, yeah, I'm buying a Jacob. They put me in a cab, sent me to another shop. You know what I'm saying? Got there, it was actual Jacob's shop. Went in there looking at these watches. Some of them 100 bags, 60 bags, you know what I mean? 70 bags. Then I see the one that I could afford. It was like 7, 9, you know what I'm saying? About 9 bags or something like that. So I copped it. Went back to set the next day. And I'm feeling like the man, bruv. My thing iced out and that. It's like, and I showed 50 and he's like, wait, what's that? But he just dissed my thing, innit? He was just like, bruv, that's dead. How much you pay for that? I was like, about 9 grand or what. He said, what? What? He said, cut the cameras, cut. He said, Ash, come, we're getting in the, he put me in the car. Yeah. And we drove all the way through town to Jacob's. And just before we got in there, he was like, put on his chains and that. He was like, you know, I'm just putting on my rapper shit. So they know what time it is when I go there. When we go inside, say you're my cousin, Nothing else. So we went in there, he just switched on the shop owner. Like, it's my cousin's birthday, I sent him here to buy a watch. Are you treating him like this, making him buy this shit piece of watch? Wait. Like, just flipped in the shop, yeah? So they all like, I'm sorry, 50, I'm sorry, 50. I'm just like, you know, I'm just standing there like, wow, this is mad. And he was like, Ash, pick whatever watch you want. So I went for this, there was some flooded one, like black and white diamonds, flooded out, whatever. The Perspex screens come down like mechanically over the big boy watches. I was like, I want that one. He got me that watch. I see him count out some money, you know what I mean, topped up what I'd already paid, and then we walked away with that watch. Bruv, no word of a lie, the next day, he bought every act to that watch. Swear down. Swear to God.
Still got the watch?
Nah, bruv, as soon as I come back, I shotted that watch. Soon as I come back, I shotted that watch. I flipped it. I was like...
A useful fairy tale.
So, what happened? Well, fairy tales passed me by when I was a kid.
Billy, cover your eyes. Cover your eyes.
I mean, one thing, I saw you one episode, I thought it was just a cameo probably, do you know what I'm saying? Because obviously you're Ashley Waters, but Mum was actually a prominent actor in the show. Like,
I did one season. If I'm honest with you, I got the sack.
Yeah,
I got the sack from this one.
I saw the next season, I didn't see Ash, I thought probably got too big for it. What?
Nah, as much as they wanted to continue, I was in a bad way. When it come to like focus and concentration, I was turning up 3 hours late for work. I was out raving till 6 and they were picking me up at 6:30 and everything there. Like, it got to my head a bit, bro. I just bought my own house. Like, I was living by myself, broke up with my missus, so there was bare drinking, partying, you know them ones, the man them round and that. I was literally leaving work at 7 in the evening and then going to the bars and clubs, bro. Then coming back home 4 in the morning. I'm meant to get picked up at 5:30. My manager's kicking off my door, like literally kicking off the door so to wake me up and that. Like, it was bad. So I was going through a mad time. My dad had just died though. My dad died whilst I was filming Get Rich or Die Tryin. So he came out for 2 weeks and then died the day he left. Caught pneumonia on the plane and died. So I had to finish that film, come back, and then straight away I moved into my own place. I just weren't dealing with life properly at that point. So yeah, it just couldn't continue. The relationship broke down. The producers was like, we love you innit, but this is a madness. This is way too black for us. Like, we can't deal with this. You know them ones.
This is my yard, bro. No one else knows about this place, you know? Horatio.
Horatio.
Oh, I thought you said your name was Tom.
Oh, would you go around calling yourself Horatio?
Yeah.
For me, what I respect about you is that after a certain while, you started seeing range. Like, in this, you was playing a drunkard. But it's like, I remember seeing this one day randomly and thinking, right, like, it's Ash. But you played it in such a way where the stigma of the road kind of stuff you was doing before left. Do you know what I mean? And I started seeing you can do different things. Like, what was your thought process when something like this comes up? Do you feel like, nah, man, can't play a drunkard, or is it like, you know what?
I thought I could play it until I went for about 170 million auditions for this film. And I was like, with my agent, I was like, this is a low budget movie.
Yeah.
Like, why are they being so panicky or whatever? But the director, Gary Love, he was just like you look too nice to be a crackhead. You're too privileged to be a, you know what I mean, a homeless alcoholic or whatever. So every time I went back to have a meeting with, I was just dumbing myself down. Brother, I stopped eating. So I stopped eating. I was eating 1 piece of boiled fish a day. Right. Yeah. And I wouldn't eat no other food. I got a company to make me up those teeth. Yeah. And I just let myself go, bruv, like for a long period of time, just to get the movie.
You one of those actors that do that to you?
No,
this was the first time you done it?
This was, cause I just couldn't accept hearing no. It was borderline rude. Like I used to come into his office and he'd be like, nah. You know, one of them ones you can do it, can you? Rare, because I've got Joe Bloggs down the road that can do this easy, whatever. You don't know this life. And I was like, nah, I can't have that.
But do you think that was his way of kind of making you prepare for it?
I think the day he decided it was calm was I got all the clothes, the teeth, makeup, and I went to Stratford in character. Okay. And I begged for half a day. And I made, there's a guy that filmed me, but like from far off, begging for money outside the train station, doing all that. I was going into shops, begging for stuff. I actually went into a famous phone shop and my cousin worked there and I forgot. She was only like 17, 18 at the time. She just got a job. She started bawling. She's like, Ashley, what's going on? That means you done a good job. Bruv, that's when I was like, I've done this. I've got this one.
Grange Hill, I'm arresting you for the murder of Kamali Lewis. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defense.
For me, Top Boy is when Ash was in his back. Like as in, other things I'm saying, Ash made it, Ash is killing it, Ash understands a lot. Top Boy is when he played a very mature hood brother. So when I watched this, it was like I hear him now. Like I fully hear him. You know what I mean? How did this come about? Obviously, not the audition, but I mean, as in like putting you and Kane, or like who would have?
It weren't meant to be Kane. So listen, in season 2? Yeah. When Kane goes off with that white guy. Yeah. Okay. He was meant to be Sully originally. Okay. Like that's who they were gunning for. Yeah. But Kane was going for the part as well. And I had to do readings with both of them because they'd already picked me. Kane came in and he did a madness one day. Yeah. He come into the casting and he just drapes me up, bruv. Like we're doing a scene. Like where there's not really no physical contact in this scene, but he dragged me out my seat, pushed me up against the wall, and just started doing this whole mad monologue thing. Yeah, like the casting director, Des and Jan, and the director, they're like, what?
Well, that wasn't even part of the script. He just...
My man just started doing something else. Obviously, I just went with it, but even I was like, I'd only met Kane like a couple times before that on music stuff. Yeah. But we didn't really know each other. So I was like, what the is my man doing? Yeah. But that's when I knew. Like straight when he left the room, we were like, nah, it has to be my man. Yeah. Has to be him. I must say, in like, you know, to his credit, like he's a method actor.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that, but when you say that, I understand what you mean.
He's a method actor. He's probably the most focused and serious guy. Like, I'll get calls like 1 a.m. So yeah, page 26. You know these lines where my man's saying that I've rewritten this. And this is what I'm gonna be saying kind of tomorrow and rare, you know what I mean? Like it's non-stop with him. Like he lives this shit. But you can see that from how he deals with his music and his life in general. He's one of those people that is just like 100%, gives 100% to everything.
Hear me out. Are we saying, TJ? Are you cool, yeah?
Yeah, cool.
Hey, let me a pound or something.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I just bought a Magnum. It was my last
Better
pound
run.
still.
Hey, listen.
I see my minute was, yeah? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is probably one of my favourite scenes, bruv, yeah? Because it was like, so random. I didn't expect to see you with it, and I didn't expect to see you playing this character. I'd already seen this in a Sugarhouse, but not comedy-wise.
So Adam was in Sugarhouse, innit?
Okay, yes, I think
Adam was in Sugarhouse, so we did that together. And then when he was writing this, he just kept on shouting at me and going, bruv, I'm putting your character from Sugarhouse in this thing, but a comedy version. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm with it.
So it's based on that character, basically.
Yeah, because it's like a spoof film.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Adam was a friend, you know what I mean? So I was like, come on, man, I'll do that for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't about money or nothing like that. Culture-wise and the moment it had and whatever, it done a lot. And
one of the biggest
comedy
films we've had.
Yeah, it was good to be a part of it.
Fresh out the pen like a sentence. I should've known.
In Jamaica, how about this connect?
Your attention. Guide the brother you're friends with.
If we do this, we're back on top. What are you saying?
The lasting from static to now and the opportunities that are coming from those opportunities. To me, watching this, but I don't know about you, I'm watching this back thinking, raw, like, that is mad. But how, I know you're very humble with it, but when this come back, was it a moment for you, or was it just like, you know what, yeah, let's back in the office, let's get it again?
I have faith at this point.
Yeah.
Or at that point, because...
Well, was it because it was Drake, or did you just think, oh...
Nah, it was just how it come about, because there were loads of things that were going on before. So from before everyone got the announcement that, you know what I mean, Drake was on board and this and that, it was like, I was talking with Drake. And then there was going to be a Top Boy based in America.
Okay.
They were going to kind of take the franchise.
Oh,
then me and him were like, let's set up a production company together.
Okay.
And try and do bring the content back. Then didn't hear nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's too busy for man or whatever. And then I get a phone call, like from the producers and that, like yeah, we're doing it.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay. So in the beginning, it was like a bit of doubt or whatever, and then once it was all penned and whatever, it was just about getting it back. And me and Kane would like straight onto. Right, we need the same people that worked on it before. Like, we just needed to build the same team so we can make sure the show stayed the same. And Drake was good in the sense that he was like, you lot do what you did.
There was rumour he was meant to be in it. Was he meant to be in it?
I think he was going to be in it still. It was kind of, it was rumours to us as well. Do you know what I mean? We never actually knew whether he was or not, but there was a part written for him that he just, if he was going to do it, he didn't end up doing it.
I think that's one of the actors that I was talking about when I said about the Kano stitch. I think him being in it wouldn't have ruined it, but I would have been like, that's Drake.
Yeah, I think that may have been like his own opinion. That may be why he didn't do it in the end. He actually asked me, we were having a meeting one time and, you know, they were all talking about writing him apart, and he said to me, what do you think? And I was kind of like, I kind of, you know, not in these words, but I was like, if I was you, I really wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? In that sense, because I feel like it would have taken people out of the world. He's so big as an artist. I don't know. There is a role for him that will get him back into, you know what I mean, his acting bag. I just don't know what that role is, and I don't think it will be in Top Boy.
Definitely.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oops. Stop it. I know you're only doing this to annoy me, you know?
Bruv, I'm chasing criminals.
Sometimes you act like a pair of petulant little Aren't you a drama?
We've gone full circle. We started on the roads, we've gone to crackers, and we ended on police officers. We've gone in a big...
Story of my life.
It's like a full... Like, what made you, you know, say, you know what? I feel like man's going to get into my police bag. Do you know what I'm saying? Or is it just, let's try something new?
You know how effective TV and film is for the people coming up underneath you, the younger generation. And I was like, I needed to see black men in more positive roles.
Yeah, fair.
That could be role models. No always used to put it in a nice way. Like, he used to be like, when I was in school, we used to play Knight Rider. You remember Night Rider, the show?
Right, yeah, of course.
Where,
I'm not that young.
with David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
And then the car, Kit. And he was like, I could only ever be the car. Because there was no one like me, you know, Starsky and Hutch. All of these things, there was no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it was A-Team, man had to be, what's his name? Mr. T.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man could never get the, you know what I mean? There was no one I could be,
Yeah,
like look up to, like I could be. So we wanted to create two characters like that.
Okay.
That's where it started. And then you know, it trickled down to, and I want to see, you know, at least one of them in a marriage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? With a black woman.
Yes.
That's actually black. Like, you know, and this is no disrespect to any other colour, but those things are not seen on screen. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So we were trying to we just tried to create this utopia, this world that, you know, we're all, it is just lacking in representation on the TV screen. And that's what Bulletproof was really all about.
I know this show was doing very well in the sense where people were actually tuning in and...
Bruv, it was you know, the biggest show on Sky One, numbers wise. Do you know what I mean? Like it had a lot going for it, and it did so well. And obviously I was proud because I created it. You know what I mean? It all came from an idea I had one night, spoke to Noel about it, and then, you know what I mean, the rest was history. We produced it, we wrote on it. Do you know what I mean? We directed, like, you know what I mean?
And is this your first, like, director, producer, creator kind of situation on the...
Yeah, 100%. I was producing on things before, but without credit and without understanding that I was actually producing. This was the first time that I had to put a show together, find the people, do the casting, you know what I mean? All of that stuff.
You know what's crazy that you say that, and the reason why I asked that is just a minute ago, because when I said full circle, I know I made a joke about feds, whatever, but it's even full circle in the fact that you said you've always had to audition to then ending on your own thing now. Now you're the one calling out the audition. So it's like it's a full circle in such a positive way, more ways than one. It's like going from just going for the roles and bagging them and doing them to, yo, I'm ending on my thing now. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's not a hood thing. I'm not ending on a hood show. I'm ending on a show that your nan's nan can watch, your friend's brother's uncle can watch. You know what I'm saying? It's not a oh yeah, the man them are watching it and tuning in, like a Top Boy kind of vibe, even though others watch it. But this is more like you like Top Boy, if you like Top Boy, you'll like this, but your dad might also like this that didn't like Top Boy. Like I said, we started on static. Obviously, we started on black and white, I would have been more blown away, because I'd be like, yeah, my man's really in the thing. And the good thing about Ash is black don't crack for your thing, you know what I mean? You've aged backwards on a Pharrell type of vibe. But it's like, how do you feel, man, just watching back your history and your legacy and seeing the stuff that you've done?
It's mad. It's mad. I'm not going to lie. It's like, but like I said to you, I just won't dwell on that feeling of, it's amazing what I've done, man, like looking at it or whatever. I just see it like, okay, what's next? Do you know what I mean?
Do you feel like you'll ever stop that getting hungry and be like, okay, now it's time?
I can't. I surround myself with people that are going to keep me hungry. Like when I'm on the phone with Daniel, you know what I mean? I'm like, I've still got a lot more to do out here. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like when you got friends and people around you like that, like how can you relax?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's crazy you said that, because you'd think you've done a lot, but for you to still feel like...
Bruv, them men are always constantly like, but Ash, you're the legend, you know? Like, you're the guy. Like, especially Daniel, always on that when we talk. But I'm like...
You are though, like, it's like...
But I'm not trying to hear it. I'm just like, you're an inspiration to me.
Yeah.
You're still inspiring me every day, do you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how it should be. Because otherwise you don't level up properly.
Before we kind of go, I know you must have some stuff in the sleeve of Top Boy 4. We keep hearing about Top Boy 4. What's going on?
It's done. It's done. Well, we're finished. We're finished filming. Obviously, it gets like finishing touches on whatever's happening for it now. So it'll be on the screen soon. I know you're trying to ask me when.
No, I tried.
I can't give that date.
I didn't want to ask. I thought you was gonna slip it in, and we just keep it in the edit. But you know.
But listen, it's soon.
It's soon.
It's soon. I don't know when people are gonna see this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's soon though. So, you know, you can start the anticipation.
Yeah. Let me not let you go. I mean, so in case you say something you shouldn't. But Ash, man, big up, man, legendary status, man. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, front row. You know the vibes. Myself, Arnold George, Ashley Waters,